To part two. And where are we? Sorry about the little break. I guess I made for two short movies. Looking at this lovely hand. By the way, Thick Skin, you'll notice his name. Check him out. His name is Fred. He's a Buddhist monk who plays bridge a lot. He thought the name was amusing, given how harsh he was treated as a young bridge player before he found the bill. When people would criticize him and teach constantly at him in not the nicest terms. So he thought Thick Skin was a good name for a bridge player. If you ever see Thick Skin playing opposite Obi Sugar in a game, immediately call the powers that be, because of course Thick Skin is my alias. Something only you know after watching this video. Anyways, we have a marvelous hand. And we've had some no-trump openers. And there was one that was on our, I call it the no-trump ladder, and you'll hear that term used, right? And we love opening no-trump. The more you can open no-trump, the better off you are, because it defines your hand so completely and puts your partner in control, and it's very easy to come to the right contract with a variety of fairly simple gadgets. Here we have the big hand, right? 8, 10, 11, 16, and 9 is 25. Now some of you will play 20, 21 as 2 no trump, right? 22, 23, 24 as 2 clubs, and then 2 no trump, and then 3 no trump for anything else. Thick Skin and Obi Sugar, though, play a little gadget called Kokish Relay. Right? And in this 25, what was it? 6, 10, 11, 17, 9, 26 point hand. What will happen is he will open 2 clubs. His partner responds 2 diamonds. And then there'll be an alert, which is a relay to 2 spades. And you do that by bidding hearts. Now this relay, what it does is it allows you to later on bid hearts to say you have a long heart suit, or later on bid another suit to show that you're 2 suited and strong. But the thing that makes it an incredibly useful gadget is after Obi Sugar, follows through with a 2 spade bid, then Thick Skin bids 2 no trump. So what we've done is we've gone slower. And most gadgets that you'll find is the slower you're going, you're showing things. In Levin Solid, the slower you go, you show things. Here, I've slowed it down, and I've created another path to 2 no trump. Right? We could just bid 2 no trump immediately, but here I bid another 2. I took a different road to 2 no trump, and that's showing something. In this case, it shows extra strength, and what it's showing is 25 plus points. Right? Now, what's the benefit of this? What's the benefit of this bid? Well, it should be obvious, right? We're at, now a partner knows exactly how strong I am, and he knows that at the 2 level. So now you can use all of the gadgets we would normally use on a 2 no trump bid, Stayman, transfers. We do them all at the 2 level, and we have 3 level, and then we have the 4th level for exploring slam. Extremely useful gadget. So what is going to happen here? Let's say that he's just going to bid 4 no trump. Basically saying, go ahead. He doesn't bother to look for any majors, so he probably doesn't have 4 of a major. And he bids 4 no trump, and of course this is just saying, partner, go to 6 if you want, depending on your hand. You make a judgment call. And of course, now Thick Skin looks at his 5-card diamond suit headed by the ace, king, queen, and he's more than happy to bid 6 no trump. Right? Isn't even about counting points anymore. You're not saying, okay, do I have 25 or 26? basically it's how does my hand look for taking tricks, and it's looking really good, right? I got ace queens, ace jacks, and I got this 5-card diamond suit. Hell, if the diamonds come home, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 tricks in hand, looking for just 4 with some honors in my partner's hand or some intermediate cards. So pretty good bid. And we get the 2 of spades lead. Partner has 6 points. He has a 4-card club suit, but he's balanced as well. He has 3 diamonds, and we like seeing that because, of course, that makes it more likely that the diamonds will split evenly. One thing we'll want to do is test that out fairly early in the hand to see if they're breaking. We can do that simply by leading them twice. If they both follow, then we know we're going to score 5 diamonds. So we've got ace, king, queen of spades. We've got the ace of hearts, that's 4. Ace, king of clubs, that's 6. And hopefully 5 diamond tricks for 11. So if the diamond split, we're just looking for 1 more trick. And when we go searching for that trick, we see this isn't all that good. The chances of scoring a heart trick seem completely useless. It's not going to happen. So we know that we have to get a trick in clubs to find a 12th. And here we are happy to see that we're only missing the queen 10, right? The 9, 8 become really important cards. Right? Because if we can set up a 9 to take a trick, even though we only have 6 cards here, if we can set up the 9 for a trick, or the 8 for a trick, then we've got our 12th trick. Now, since we're setting up tricks in that hand, we really want to have an entry. So it might be really a smart idea to do this. But the other way, before we go any further, the other way to score the 12th trick is to take a club finesse. Right? If the club finesse is on, you got your 12th trick and the hand is over. If the club finesse is not on, right, now you're in trouble. But maybe you can still set up the clubs, but it would be rough. I'm going to stick in the 10 of spades because it would kind of be nice to start there, sort of preserving an entry, but that doesn't happen. Right. Cover it with the ace, and now we have the king of spades as an entry. Now, because of the entry problem here, I'm kind of forced to play this hand in a way that you might not think of doing. And then what I'm going to do is completely forego the club finesse. And I'm going to leave the jack. Now remember, the queen 10 are out there, so it'd be really nice to see one of those cards right here. And if West has them, he has to play them, right? He has to play the queen. If he doesn't play the queen right now, if he has the queen and he doesn't play it, this hand is over, right? But if he plays it, right, I get the king, and then I just leave the 9 of clubs, giving him the 10, and now the 8 of clubs. So there's really not much risk in this. Right? He plays the king of clubs. It turns out he had all the rest of the clubs, right? And now I simply leave the 9 of clubs. And this hand is over. Right? Because the 8 of clubs becomes the 12th trick. Well, you can go searching for something, maybe try to set up a heart for his partner. But that's not going to work. I'm not going to let him do that. And we can cross. I meant to here before we do that. Back here earlier, it probably would have made sense to test the diamonds. And I said I wanted to do that earlier. I just simply forgot. But before we cross, let's just make sure. There was a wild distribution in the club suit. So should have done that. I would say before you lead the ace of clubs would have been the proper time to test the diamonds. Right? Just making sure that they follow twice. And when they do, you know that you have all the diamond tricks. You can simply claim at this point, right? You'll take the king and queen of spades. You'll take the 8 of clubs, and then you'll run your diamonds. Your jack of hearts will go underneath the 8 of clubs. So you have the rest of the tricks. Good job. So pretty simple. Now, this hand played 6 no trump. This was from some championship back in the 60s or 70s, I think, and it was played from the north side in 6 no trump, and it won with some clever play by Edgar Kaplan, and I think there's a number of ways to make this hand, but this was a sure way to score, and makes a lot of sense. I'm in Michigan, in Grand Haven, by the west side of Michigan, just half mile from the lake, the big lake, and we're getting snow today. How lovely. I'm really happy that we're headed over to the east side of Michigan. I'm playing in the Farmington Hills Regional with my good buddy Bob Ondo. All right, next hand. I didn't leave any notes on. I've got 4, 8, 12 points. It's a 2-suited hand. I've told you before I like to name my hands, right? This is a 2-suited hand, a minimum 2-suited hand. But we're going to get a heart bid from our right-hand opponent. Certainly we want to get in the auction, though, and we'll bid 1 spade. Nothing so much in West's hand, and our unpassed partner bids 2 spades. Now, 2 spades in this is not showing spades. It's not a request to, saying I got a stopper. This is a Q bid. This is a common way, whether you're an overcaller or whether your partner's an overcaller or your partner's an opening hand. It's a common way to show support for the suit bid in a good hand. Right? If you're a passed hand, it generally shows 9, 10, 11 points. If you have not yet bid, you are unlimited. Right? So we don't know, in Sal's hand right now, he doesn't know if there's game or not. So he will just show his hand, right? And we named it before as a minimum hand, and so that's all we'll do is we'll make a minimum bid 3 hearts. And we'll see what happens with North. And he goes 4 hearts. I might actually, you can make an argument that better bid might even be to make to bid diamonds or something else here to invite, because you could have had as few as 7 or 8 points here for that overcall, right? So your partner might think you really have nothing. So what if you did something like bid diamonds here? Right? You have a suit. So basically saying, I actually have some values here. I was not just a minimum overcaller. And then your partner might, in fact, just go to 4 hearts. 4 spades, rather. And probably get the jack of clubs as a lead. I just want to make sure, though. Oh, sorry, no, he leads a heart. His partner bid hearts. So we get the heart lead. So we're in a suit contract. We're counting our losers, and it looks like, and we're counting points. Our partner had 11 points with 4 support, right? So he knew there was a 9-card fit all along, which was enough for him to, with his doubleton club. I guess he thought that was enough to go to game. Certainly after we invited, it was enough. 6, 5, 11 points. We invited 2 invitational hands opposite each other, and generally we'll make a game. Of course, we were invitational only in the sense we were showing opening values. So once we bid the diamonds, then we're kind of asking, suggesting that if you got a good enough hand, let's go to game. Okay, enough of the auction. It was maybe a little aggressive, but so we get the 7 of hearts lead. We have no losers in spades. We have 2 losers in clubs, one of which can be ruffed. And we have 3 diamond losers. So the real dire aspect of this hand is the 3 diamond losers. I mean, we don't even get to ruff until we've lost 3 diamonds. Right? So that is our real problem in this hand. We can ruff a club, but and then the ace of hearts is out there. Right? We're certainly going to lose the ace of hearts. So this becomes an interesting question on the first trick. You might put this under, those guys who shotgun a card down without thinking about it. They probably shotgun the king of hearts down here, and then it does not go well for them. Time to figure out what's going on is when the dummy comes down and the lead is on the table. And in this hand, it's the intermediate honors and hearts that become interesting. Right? We know that East has bid the hearts. We know he has 5. Could be 5, 4, 3. If he has 6, it's 5, 4, 2, 1. Sorry, 5, 4, 3, 1. Or 6. But West, if West has 2 here, then basically we know that it was a 6-card suit. If this is stiff, it's a 7-card suit. So we know that East has a lot of hearts. If this is a doubleton, right, it might not be. But because if East only started with 5, then it would be 5, 4, 3, 1. West would have 3. Would he be leading the 7? Or would he be leading a lower card to show 3? He'd probably be leading a lower card. So I'm going to pin this as a doubleton or a stiff. So the heart suit is actually a good suit for us. Right? When we go looking for winners in the dummy to pitch those crappy diamonds on, right, the heart suit is great. If we can simply force out the ace and jack, we're going to be in good shape. And we know that the ace and jack are almost, as a matter of certainty, in to our right. So what we want to do here is actually let it ride. Right? This is going to take out one of the high honors immediately. Right? Probably, he can see the king queen, so he'll play the jack and take his heart trick. But now we're 1 heart lead away from being able to score this. Right? And we know where the heart is. We know where the ace of hearts is. Now, what's he going to lead? He could lead a club, or he could lead a diamond. Either way would be good for their side. I mean, I think maybe the more aggressive one, put pressure on us, is to expose all of our losers now. Well, we have 3 fast losers, which means if we lose the deal, well, we actually have 2 fast losers because right now we can still ruff one. But then it's getting tight. We've already got 1. If they get the club and 2 diamonds, we're down. Right? So now we have to do some work. Want to make sure that we have trump entries in the dummy, right? And our only entries are in the trump suit. And I think we can just go ahead and pull trump. And if we lead high, that actually will turn the 8 of spades into an entry as well. Right? Assuming they break 2-2, which I happen to know they do. All right, so now we're in the dummy. We lead the king of hearts. Just like that, right? What is East to do? Is he going to duck? If he ducks, you just pitch. You know where the ace of hearts is. He has no choice but to cover it. But it really doesn't matter. If you duck, you'd be in just as good a shape. Right here. But you don't want to let him win it, obviously, right? So we'll ruff. We're going to ruff high because, once again, just habitually, when you need those trump entries, ruff high. Get in the habit of thinking that way. It's you'll find less tragedy if you are habitually thinking about ruffing high when you're using trump as entries in the dummy. Right? And there you are. Now you can go back up. We even have a trump left over if we have to if we have to ruff a club. Okay, so what are we going to get rid of here? Right? We got 2 winners to pitch dummies on. Notice it was kind of a clever hand, but we came back to that old saw, that primary technique we've talked about so often, right? Just what do we want to pitch? It really probably doesn't matter. Right? I guess I would think about diamonds because I've been focused on them being such a terrible suit for us. Pitch another heart. Play another heart. And now you want to continue with the diamonds, get rid of them. There's a moment there when you probably could have gotten rid of a club, but at this point you definitely want to be able to rough a club, right? And, go ahead and lead up to the ace. And then play another club. Now they'll get their club trick. Their diamond trick. That's not a problem, but you're going to be able to rough the clubs. So they'll lead a diamond, take their diamond, they're entitled to it. But we started with a bunch of those, 3 of them, right? And we whittled it down to just 1 by setting up the hearts in the dummy. And we did it in their suit. You're not usually thinking that way, right? And that first trick was the key. We can have a cross ruff here to claim, so we can claim the rest. The opening lead was the key. When they led partner suit, we could see that only the ace and jack were out, which meant our 9, our intermediate 9, was this huge card combined with the 10 of hearts in the dummy, because we made them play the jack. That's a cool hand. It's a cool book. It's a really cool section. I remember the first time I read this section, feeling like my mind had been blown. Because I don't know that I'd ever really look close enough to understand what was going on with those smaller cards. I knew experts were taking, and better players were taking more tricks than me. But, I really hadn't come to me yet there. They were taking more tricks because they were taking them with these little cards. All right, so looks like a big hand. I've got 7, 8, 12, and 5, 17 points with a 5-card heart suit. Is how good of a hand it is. I'm a person who will always open 1 no trump with a 5-card major. I don't care. Most of the time I don't have a rebid if I don't do that. But in this hand, I actually have a rebid, and that's because I think I'm too strong. I got 17, but I think this has more playing strength than that with the king, queen, 10 of diamonds, and the ace of spades. So I will open 1 heart. My intention here is to show a balanced hand, but not by bidding 1 no trump, but by upgrading to 18 points. And so I would rebid 2 no trump. But my partner makes a 2/1 bid. This is very cool, right? I have a huge hand, 17-point hands. My partner has at least 13 points. You have to immediately think slam. But of course, we don't know where slam is at this point. Partner has not, we don't have a strain. So I don't need to show values anymore. I know we're going to game. So I really want to just show the nature of my hand, which I think at this point we would just call balanced. I'll bid 2 no trump. I know my partner won't pass us there. This is the beauty of 2/1, right? Although playing standard, this would be not forcing, despite the fact North had shown 10 points. But here, we know we're getting to game, and that allows my partner to show the heart fit. Right? Now he doesn't have 4 hearts, because there are ways to show 4 hearts and make a game for us. So we know he has 3. Or maybe he has an incredibly strong hand, but that's not really our worry right now. What we want to do is make a slam try. And we do that by bidding up the line, either a first or second round control. You bid up the line, and what you bypass, you deny. So if I were to bid clubs here, I would be denying a spade control. So I got to bid the spade, which takes it over to my partner, who will do the same thing. Going up the line, he will show me his first control. And he shows a club control. Now this looks really good to me, right? Because now I know all the suits are controlled. We have enough points for slam. If I wanted to, I could bid 4 diamonds, right? Showing a control there, and let him ask. But I'm feeling comfortable enough at this point that we have a slam. And I just want to know what he has. Right? I have all the suits controlled. I need 2 aces from him. No, I need the ace of clubs from him, because we could lose 2 clubs. I'd rather have him have the ace of clubs. So I'm just going to ask at this point, what do you have? And we're in hearts. I ask with this, and we're going to use 1430. Doesn't really matter here. So he shows me he shows me 2 aces, 2 key cards. I know it's aces because I have the king of hearts. 2 key cards and the queen. So now I know I have a running heart suit. Right? Hearts should not be a problem. I have 8 of them with the queen filling in the gap. And then he also has the ace of diamonds and the ace of clubs. Do you have slam interest? I mean grand slam interest? What would you need from him? You would need for him to have the king of spades, maybe the queen. That's 5. You need him to have the king of clubs. That's 8. He's told you he has the queen of hearts. That's 10. And then you need him to have the ace of diamonds. Well, he has the ace of diamonds. So that's 14. So it's not all that unreasonable that we could have a grand slam here. You might check and you actually have a fairly easy bid here. You could ask him, show me your kings. We have all the key cards. And when he says that, when he shows you when he bids, what suit are we in? Hearts. When he bids 6 hearts, he's saying, I don't have a king below 6 hearts. The best way to play this king ask is to actually show me a king, right? Because I want to see the king of clubs. I don't want to have to count whether it's the king of spades or the king of clubs. The card I want is the king of clubs. I can go from there. But here now I know he doesn't have the king of clubs, and so I'm very happy just to play 6 cards. And that, my friend, is how you bid an auction. That's how you bid slams. It's sort of textbook. Textbook 2/1 auction. Let me double check the lead. Seems obvious. Yeah. Get the jack of clubs. So partner has 6, 7, 6, 13 points. Opposite are 20, 21, 25, 30. So we're in slam area, but there are 10 points out there. And, we don't know where they are, but you can assume at the start that they're fairly divided until you see differently. Let me ask you something, though. Do you have a clue where the king is? Well, you don't right now in theory. I mean, he could be leading from king, jack, 10. I'm not sure that'd be a very good lead against slam, but he could be. But some people play that the jack denies a higher honor. So, you ask here. At a club, what everybody plays. You know the people that play coded jacks and 10s. But here you just turn to the guy to your left, to your right, and you say, you got any special agreements regarding the lead of a jack? And in this case, East would say, as though he were giving a confession, he would say, yes, it denies the king. Right. He would have to say that. He'd have to tell you what their agreement was. And that is their agreement on this case. So you know where the king of clubs is. So you know for a fact that the club finesse loses. So why take it? Right? Why take a losing finesse? What good does it do you to give up the queen of clubs? Right? So what other losers do you have? Well, you're not going to lose any diamonds, but you got this and you get a pitch. Your diamond's going to cover a loser, right? Because you'll get a winner in the dummy because you've got 4 diamonds and the dummy and 3 in your hand. So at some point you should be able to throw a loser under a diamond. But you got 2 spade losers, one of which potentially could be ruffed, if you did it right away, I guess. Right? And you've got this club loser. Right? So what can you do to fix it? And the answer actually comes in terms of, there's no other way to do it actually. You don't want to try the finesse, you know it's losing, so you win. Right? And your real option here is that you need to figure out a way to score the queen of clubs. So the king is next to you. Right? You started with 4. There were 2 in your hand. Right? So they have 7 between them. And if they started 4-3, right, if the east is to your right with 3 clubs, he now only has 2 left. So he has 1 left, and then he has the king of clubs. So basically, you get to time when the king of clubs comes. Now, it may not work out that way. If it turns out West has a shortage in clubs, then East will get a chance to keep holding up his king of clubs. So what you need to do is figure out how to play this. Is you can lead a club. Now, are you going to need entries in the dummy? Right? Eventually, if you're going to want to score the queen of clubs, you're going to need a way to get back. And what do we have? Since we have equal hearts, all our heart honors are equal except for the 4, right? We could pull some trump with the ace king, and so you'll have the queen of hearts as an entry. Then we have the ace of diamonds as an entry. In theory, we could have the 10 of diamonds as an entry too. Lead the queen to the ace and the 10 to the jack. But then if the diamonds don't split evenly, then we don't have that extra winner in the diamonds. So I think probably right now I would just go ahead and lead a club to start. Not worry about trump yet. Figure that we're not going to, with 7 of them being out, we're not going to be and now we get a clue. Why doesn't West let the 6 win? Well, it's because he doesn't have a smaller one, right? Everybody's in favor of a cheap trick. He doesn't have a smaller one. So he is now showing you that he probably started with 4, right? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. But it certainly shows that this suit could work out well for you, right? If East has the king small, which he must have because West didn't have a smaller one. Actually, after play the 6, now that I think about it, we've seen the 2, we had the 3, we've seen the 4, we saw the 5 already. So there are no smaller ones, right? All that's left out there is the king 10-9. King 10-9. You get a desperate spade switch here, right? Which is actually not a bad lead because, right, it's going to blow off one of our covers, right? Now there's a spade loser exposed. Go ahead and take a trump trick. Remember, what I want to do is get back up there. Be real careful here. Preserve entries. And now, what do I lead? The queen? No, because you know where the king is. You don't want it to get roughed. What you're hoping for is that East has only the king left, right? Which is the truth. Right? They started off 4-3. And when you see that king come down, now you can rough. Play up to the drawing the last trump, play up to the 10, and take your winner. Now remember, we have a plan for that entails us pitching a loser from our hand on the winning diamonds, and it's worked out. But we've used the queen of clubs to get rid of one of those spade losers. Never had to rough it. We just simply set up the queen of clubs by exhausting East. When East got 3 to the king, and that queen can just hang out until it takes a card. We promoted it just through, I don't know, brute force, not really brute force, but by attrition. The king falls just because the suit got led enough times. Right? Now, of course, we can take our diamonds, and when we do that, we get 4 diamond tricks. And under the 4th diamond in the dummy, right, just like we always do, we pitch a loser from our hand on a winner in the dummy. In this case, we will pitch the 6 of spades, and we will make our contract. Thank you for sticking with me on these hands, and I hope this is a better presentation than I managed yesterday. That was kind of ragged. I've smoothed it out here because by enlisting a second laptop, I'm able to record Thick Skin playing it here, and I can just sit in the other hands. So I'm actually playing everything but Thick Skin, right? Everything but north. I play north-south on the left computer. I play the other ones on the right. So on to the last hand, and I really appreciate it. And if I can make it through this one, I'll be very happy. Well, let's see. Now that I'm sitting, maybe I can figure out a way to get this. We're going to end up in 5 diamonds. It is impossible to get the robot to bid 5 diamonds, to stop at 5 diamonds. So we'll either bid 3 no trump, or he'll bid 6 no trump, 6 diamonds. Neither of which makes. So let's see if we get something else. If I have control of both north and south. So 7, 8, 4 is 12, and 5 is 17. So I got 17 points. I've got 2 ways to bid this, right? I'm not sure that bidding 1 heart and then 2 diamonds as my rebid really shows the value of this hand. And so it's my instinct here to bid 1 no trump. Right? Now I'm showing the strength of the hand. Right? I'm showing 15 to 17. And like I said, when you can figure out a way to get to a no trump bid, do it. It's the best way to show a balanced hand. You limit your hand and show shape at the same time. And north bids 2 clubs. Gives me a Stayman bid. And looking for my 4-card major, and I get a shot to show 2 hearts. He's not interested in that, and he would bid 3 diamonds. No, can't do it. All right, so let's say that he can't bid 3 spades because that would be showing hearts. It's just an awkward hand. I'm going to upload it and I was hoping there might be a way to get it to 5 diamonds, which is where it is in the book, but they must have had some old way of getting there before you just made it up. This is the way we're going to get to 5 diamonds. No way to get it there otherwise. You'll see why in a second. Maybe somebody come up with a sequence that stops in 5 diamonds. If you open a heart, maybe that's it. You open a heart. He doesn't have enough to bid 2 diamonds at that point. but you rebid the diamonds, and then maybe you're off to the races. That was when I did that with the dummy. That's when we would end up in 6 diamonds. I mean, with the robot playing north. All right, so enough of that. Get on to the play of the hand. Last one. Um, we have lots of diamonds, and we have only one club block, and that was the problem with no trump, as I discovered. So once again, interestingly, we have a lead through the ace-queen, and let's pretend that we're playing the same guys, right? We're in a round of pairs, and the guy to your right has just told you that lead of the jack denies the king. You can ask him again, and you can say, is there anything different this time? And he'll say, no. He is denying the king. He says that with a sad look on his face, and because he's confessing to have the king. Point-wise, what's going on? We have 6, 8, 9 in our 17, so we got 26. Don't really know how the remaining 14 are split. If somebody had a lot of those points in a long suit, they didn't bid them, so we can draw that conclusion. And we have this first trick decision on what we want to do. Now let's even just go ahead and say that, yeah, this hand came up right after the last hand we played, where we had been so clever to exhaust the king out. Right? So clever to exhaust. Can we do it again? Is the question. Well, we're certainly not going to give him the king here. So what can we do? We can lead at the king of hearts, right? And we want to set up those tricks one way or the other. In fact, we know we're going to have to, right? We've got 5 diamond tricks. Well, in Norse hand, counting the losers, right now we have 3 spade losers and a heart loser and a club loser, right? Too many because we're in 5. We know that we can set up some heart winners, and maybe we can pitch under the heart then, pitch a club or something. We can ruff spades if we wanted to. But maybe we wanted to try. We just had success scoring that queen. Why don't we do it again? Which means getting rid of that one, right? Because we want to be able to ruff out. We want to lead the ace or queen and ruff. Last time we led the 8 and ruffed out. What's he going to do? He's probably going to strip us of, it'd be nice if he just led the ace of hearts. But he's probably going to want to strip us of our club protection. So now we have a fast loser in clubs. I'm going to cross over here again, pulling some trump. There are 4 of them out. And this time, we're going to lead the queen of spades. Because if Ace is holding King Doubleton, then the 8 has become high. We should have paid a little bit more attention. But if we'd watched the spades fall, we would have seen that there's a really good chance that only the 10 is left. And even if actually the cards that are missing are the King, 10, 7, right? So if it happens that East has King 10, well, I guess we'll just rough him out or something. But when he plays the 7 here, we know he has that. If he does that, then well, we just got the trick we were looking for. If he doesn't do it, which is more likely, if he covers with the king, then we rough it. And how do we rough it? We rough it high. Trying to save those entries, rough high. And there comes the 10. Right? So the 8 is now the highest card in the deck. We have promoted the 8. Rewind that and watch the cards again. I should have paid a little bit more attention in the narration to how the spades were falling. And then you would see how it is that we want to play the queen of spades this time. So we're going to need to pull another trump. They both follow, so trump are gone. Our 8 of spades is good. We're going to want to play that one. And what are we going to pitch? The jack of clubs, of course. And the lead. Now it's time to set up the hearts. Lead a heart. And do we want to play low? No, we just want to set up the king of hearts. Right? Poor West is probably feeling a little bit of a pinch here too. So he can lead a club, which probably makes the most sense for him. Right? He wanted to set one up, but he'll find himself disappointed because we were able to pitch our losing club, giving us a trump to ruff with. And a king of hearts winner, under which the 5 of hearts disappears. And now all we have left are trump. Right? And so we can claim. Look at that one again. That's a very difficult hand. I don't think I would have ever played it that way. But that concept of how to score, just because, let me back up. When you see a finesse, it doesn't necessarily mean take the finesse. Right? And I'm hoping to shift gears next week to some finesse hands. And a lot of the times we're going to be asking ourselves with the finesse, take it or don't take it. What's the value of taking it? Do I have to take it? Which finesse should I take first if I have a couple? Right? So we're going to spend a couple weeks on the finesse. And then finally we're going to turn to suit establishment. And that should take us through the end of November. And maybe on the last class, well, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll do a hodgepodge of everything. Maybe I'll throw up a bunch of hands with different things and ask people to play. That might be the most fun for the first week of December. Anyways, I hope this is clearer than yesterday. Sorry, it was such a mess yesterday. And I really have no good excuses except that I'm still working for a living. Thanks again, and see you next week.